do it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Bradley here with Aces EFI. We got it. This is episode 23.
23.
Yep.
Cool. Welcome back, everybody, to Tech Tuesday. This is episode 23. Bradley here from Aces EFI, and
I'm Tim.
we're here for the people.
Always.
Yeah. We're going to answer some of you guys' questions. We'll get right into it.
Oh, absolutely. Good news is Justin Lindy, 5783, the camel offer still stands. This dude's got a camel. I want to go pet a camel.
Supposedly.
No, he does.
He does.
He's got a camel, dude. All right. Yeah, so I'll read this one. It's a lot of words for a guy like me. At 78SVO. Appreciate you guys attempting to answer my question. Thank you. This is that thing I was talking to you about where you guys went off the track on what his question was.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, and maybe misdescribed my question, I am talking about brackets to mount throttle cable and TV cable to the engine. I'm speaking of specifically mounting the cables, more specifically the TV cable. To do the actual throttle linkage arm head on your primary throttle shaft or of the kill shot, the mounting points for that cable has to be in a very specific spot to obtain proper geometry. If it's wrong, I'll bump it up. Wait, there's more here. Oh my God.
Ooh.
There's like a second page to this
Hit the
paragraph.
read more button.
Sweet Jesus. The cool thing is he makes a lot of sense of what he's going on. You got a throttle body, you got a carburetor, you got anything. It's the throttle cable, the foot pedal itself, is hooked to the linkage and does its job. The TV cable, or what is it? Throttle valve on a 700R4, it has to be adjusted to where if you mat that accelerator pedal and that throttle blades comes all the way open, that's where you need to set the wide open throttle for your TV cable. Otherwise, in that range, the pressure is going to be wrong. It will shift funny, harder, softer, whatever. You smoke that tranny eventually. So that's why they're a little adjustable. On ours, I've got one hooked up like that on, I think it's an old S10 with a 700R4. I bought the eBay special, big C-clamp looking set. It has the throttle connector on top. It has the TV mounting hole underneath, the weird square one. I think it was like $15, not a big deal. I had enough adjustment in there to get all the geometry correct for my wide open throttle and for the TV cable as well. There was no binding issues. It was just cheap $15 ones, comes in a box. Other companies sell them for $100 and something. The same manufacturer sells them on eBay for like $15. Not a big deal. You can get them on Amazon too. That's actually easier to get, and you get more colors too. If I might try to convince them to try to start offering that just as a thing, because it's something we can just purchase and then throw little aces on it and then sell it for a medium price, and helps a lot of folks out, because then it solves the problem of having to figure out and call us like, oh, which one do you guys use? I just use the big C-shaped aluminum one.
Craftworks MC. He's basically asking about a forum. That's basically what the Facebook page is it not?
That's why we made the Facebook page, so people can go in there and talk about some stuff.
Tech/owners, Aces EFI. And if you get put in that, you can have any sort of input in the comments and helping each other out. If you got any questions, feel free to make a post on there, and people will help you out. That's basically what it's there for.
Yeah.
So
if you notice, we don't really delete a lot of stuff in there. If people are like really getting real wild out there and getting some foul language going on or some hate speech or what have you, not like we're forced to get rid of those comments or anything threatening. But outside of that, even the negative stuff, we read all that. If somebody's having a problem with it, like, it's generated me to actually reach out to somebody and be like, oh, hey, I know that guy. Let me just give him a call real quick. Some of that, it's, we sit there and read it like, oh, hey, we got a couple people having this issue. Now, can we make a video about it and explain it better, or is it something we need to actually fix as a company? Yeah. So that's where we get it.
Trent Dog 2832.
Hey, Revenge of the Trent Dog. That's what I'm talking about. This guy, he's a good commenter. He usually has some pretty dynamite questions.
How do I run the fuel pressure gauge on my kill shot?
Fuel pressure gauge. So there's a sensor input, literally plugs into a 0 to 100 pound, 0 to 100 psi pressure transducer. The ones we sell, the ones on Amazon, the ones on eBay, the very, very expensive ones from SSI, all those. You plug them in 0 to 100 psi. The coefficient is hitting the medium, so as it goes, like it's pretty well calibrated for most of those sensors. Are all really, really close to being the same thing anyways. Ours does go through a few more quality checks and has some nice laser etching on it, and they're made of stainless. They're not the aluminum ones that really fall apart out the box. I've only had one bad one. Out of all the ones we sold, I've only had one bad one, and I'm pretty sure the dude just cranked it in there too tight because it looked a little bit crushed when I got it back. So, whoops. Then you got to go into the handheld. So, what is it? Tuning, monitors, gauge home.
Yeah.
Select some value you don't want to see. Select that. Scroll down till you see FPS or fuel pressure, what have you not. Click that. Click save. And then go back to your home screen. That should be wherever you selected to put it. Poof, there it is. And you'll have your fuel pressure. It used to be stuck in KPA. We have like one system. It's still in KPA. We just haven't updated that yet. We didn't want to do a whole firmware update to change one value in one system that isn't our largest selling item. So we're like, that's something we'll just throw in there later. Just sneak it in. How about this? How about David H. period 5435? 4 days ago. Hey there. Hey, guy. I was wondering if you offered or recommended a filter/spike system to protect the unit's power feed source. That's why we put it on the battery. Uses the capacitance of the battery to filter out any kind of transient voltages and whatnot. So those power spikes and all that, you can throw some like bits of what are they called? Like they're little filters, little magnetic ring things. It escapes me what they're called. I use them, but. Yeah, that's a thing. Some people do put in a bit of inline filtering on these, something that protects it with an electromagnetic field to filter out that kind of stuff, like lines of flux. Some things are filtered out through. I've seen people put capacitors in these things. That's been weird too, and diodes and whatnot. But sometimes, more often than not, that causes more of a headache. We just go straight to the battery for the battery's capacitance to protect against those type of nasty, dirty voltages. If you want to put filtering in there, that's cool. It's your prerogative. I mean, just don't severely modify the wiring harness by any means. Otherwise, it'll get real weird when you send it in because you have a little thing or you want to do an update or something funny happened, like your car got struck by lightning and it smoked the ECU, and I'm like, well, we'll have a peek at it, and then I get to the wiring harness and I'm like, this is hard to justify. Mm-hmm. There's only been a couple instances where I've actually was left with the only option to have to call the customer to tell them you're going to have to buy something because what you've done. Very rare that I have to do that, but it does happen from time to time. We'll get heavily modified wiring harnesses in here, bad handheld, bad ECU, bad throttle body, all in the same box, and I'm like, this doesn't happen. You can't hit the holy trifecta of smoked everything here.
Yeah, you don't get everything defective like that.
Had that this weekend. Had it this weekend, actually.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Went to a friend/customer's place to help him with his install. Working great. Stopped working. Started pouring fuel into the thing. Had to change his oil, all that jazz. Found out the problem. There's a starter solenoid on the firewall. And we're just going to call this guy Wesley. That's his name, Wesley.
Okay.
It's a different reference to another thing. Hashtag thanks, Wesley. You're awesome. Anyways, so he has a big old honking starter solenoid on the fender. That's where he's getting his power from. That thing makes so much transient voltage. It killed the ECU, the handheld, the throttle body. It smoked some sensors in the throttle body. Killed the handheld because of the voltage. ECU was doing the craziest stuff I've ever seen. It was like, I don't know, it's hard to describe in the injector drivers, coil drivers, and all the lights flashing at the same time and has no reason to do so. Something really hurt the power section. And it actually, somehow, there's something wrong with the harness at this point, too. So, replaced all of it. It's fine.
And hooked it up to the battery.
Yeah. It's on the battery now. Yeah, up to the battery. Because it had no way to filter out all that nasty stuff that was mentioned here, just a previous comment. So that's what we run into.
And if you read the manual, it does say.
I can't emphasize enough the reason. If it's in the manual and it's saying to hook something up a certain way, that's the correct way.
That is the way.
If it's outside of that, it's incorrect.
Yep.
Because I've seen more incorrect ways to hook something up than correct ways to hook something up. And I'm not even being grumpy about it. It's just that it's, I just can't express the importance of 12 volts just isn't 12 volts. There's types and sources of 12 volts.
If there were another way to hook it up, we would have included it in the manual as an option for certain applications.
Yeah. My first 8 months to a year of doing consulting before I even really technically worked for Aces, my everyday was blowing stuff up. Straight up. I was getting ECUs in, letting magic smoke out every day in different ways. If it worked good, great. Then I break it somehow and push them, because they were just sending me infinite wiring harnesses, throttle bodies, ECUs to test, and I was just letting the magic smoke out left and right and then giving them that data about I broke it this way, customers will hook it up this way, we need it to not do that no more. And so it was. So even if you hook it up funny and it functions and it's like, well, that should probably kill it. Yeah, right now the only way to really kill them is to get the voltage polarity super wrong, which I've seen it not do anything before, or straight up hook it to an alternator, a starter, an AC compressor, a fan motor for any kind of power source. Those right there, or a coil, positive side of a coil, those will eventually smoke them. Maybe the first 20 starts are fine. Number 21, you're sitting at the grocery store and it's not doing a thing.
Larry, is that Larry? 2149. Is the launch control used like a rolling anti-lag or two-step?
Never wired it up like that, but I'd say you probably do that. It's just going to be a limiter. So you put the thing in, it's limited. So if you got your cruising set just right, and you got if you want to do some rolling anti-lag, it's going to pull some timing. It's going to, it's going to do the whole thing. And then when you're up off the button, after it's all good and spooled, I'd say it do pretty good, because what it's going to do is you're going to come off the button, and then it's going to ramp timing back in, so it's not going to just blow the tires off instantly. Though I'm sure you can set it up to do that by reducing how much time. But, yeah, it should dip timing, hold RPMs, and do a good job. I mean, that's something I kind of wanted to set up to show to my bosses what anti-lag really is and is all about, and try to convince them to do some variation of it. That way we can make some really cool social media content. I have an excuse to spend a bunch of their money, and we can also try to develop something better than what we have and not do anything but a software change as it goes. I think it'd be neat. I think that'd be a really cool thing to promote, like, oh, yeah, anti-lag all day. Right now it's launch control modified to be like anti-lag.
Yeah. SS Gang 2030. Yeah, I'm part of that gang. Technically.
That's right.
Hello, guys. I'm new to the LS platform, and I'm purchasing a long block LS3, and I don't want drive-by-wire.
Cool.
So I'm looking for the Jackpot system with the fab intake.
Sweet.
Cool. My questions are, do I need the Gen 4 ECU to go along with the Aces ECU or not?
No.
I'm currently using a Turbo 400 tranny for now, but I will get the 4L80 next year.
Sweet.
So if I want to get the 4L80 with the kit, can I delete it and use Turbo 400 tranny for now? Yeah. So if you're going to do a drive-by cable system, but you're eventually going to do trans with it, then you'll get a drive-by-wire ECU, and then in the start wizard, you can actually select no on the throttle and trans control, because you won't need it for the Turbo 400.
No. Our early systems didn't have the split between the two, so it used to be everything. If you had drive-by cable, no trans control, it was the same ECU.
Yeah.
Now we do have two different ECUs, but if you get the Jackpot Pro with trans control, because you're never going to go drive-by-wire, you already set up, just tell it no in the handheld, like he said.
Yeah.
That way, whenever you go with that 4L80, just plug in a sub-harness, plug that trans in, and say, just run through the wizard again and be like, yep.
Yeah, you'll just have to go through the wizard and change it, and that should be it.
You're dialed. That's too easy. Low bay factors. Question. I'm getting no spark from my coil and my Royal Flush installed on my big block Chevy 434. Checking all wiring, test the distributor. Am I using the distributor? Came in the kit. The car is flooded with fuel. Ran for it back down the driveway, moved it in, was stuck. Sounds like your ECU has gone bad for one reason or the other. It could be wiring, could be voltage, could be something weird. Don't know. And I almost got done with checking my wiring, grounded, good unit, no spark. No spark situation on Royal Flush. That is something I definitely call tech about. Would ask you some questions. Would do a few things. Would check over a couple things. Most likely because it's doing some weird flooding action and it's got a no spark. We'll probably get that thing in here for testing, verify a few things. If there's a problem, no problem to replace anything. It is what it is. But yeah, this is I've seen a no spark on a Royal Flush before, and it was actually like a power related thing. Like it was hooked up a little bit funny, and it just killed that driver. I mean, you could do that. I've done it personally with a welder just to see what happens. I've done it with a big jump box. I've done it with it. Yeah, like I said, I used to let the magic smoke out of everything for reasons. That's just how we did it. So, anyways, I'd call the RMA team, or the tech team.
Yeah.
But well, thanks again, everybody. This is Tim and Brad here with Tech Tuesday. It's a pleasure as always. We're here for the people doing this thing. Put it in the comments below. Anything weird. You just want to vent. You just want to speak your mind about something. Or you got some like legit questions that many other people may have. We are happy to answer them. Don't mind at all. And if you have any suggestions for any kind of like tech-related videos you want us to develop and put out, let us know. We're going to do one on the TCU, I think, tomorrow. So I'm going to put it on my Tahoe just to see what she do. But outside of that, we appreciate you. Bye now.